Ah, okay, so Starvo for our good friend uh, Ben here on the right, no pwn intended. And yeah, Prism
Just
for
like we suspected.
Jacob. Good.
Well,
Man.
this will be a good one. We got two of the best in the format.
Yeah, the matchup we saw play out at the finals in Indianapolis, and I'm sure a lot of people saw themselves either playing for or against. I man, yeah, I don't know. What do you think? How do you feel about Ben in this?
Well, it's interesting because Ben is the person, Michael Hamilton shouted out for helping with the deck tech for this more control Starvo build. But you do see a difference in their approaches right up front with the different shield. Whereas Michael put that stalagmite to use, Ben's opting for the ram's head. So there'll probably be some differences here. I would think that the strategies and the lists are going to be pretty similar on how they're going to approach this game. Um, but yeah, we'll see.
Hmm. Okay, so Prism electing to go first, just arsenaling, passing.
Um, yep, they don't have life total set up, but I'm sure as soon as one of them takes some damage, they'll see that.
Yeah. So we got pitch for 6, break ground, and channel Lake Frigid to play Spinal Crush. Yeah, life totals inbound. So yeah, it's unfortunate that even if, say, Jacob decides to take more damage and suffer the crush, like so many instants for the auras, kind of, I don't know, kind of make it less valuable. Like it's especially in these early turns where you don't have like so many auras to consistently attack with. It's like how much does go
Right.
again really matter?
Yeah, Spinal Crush later in the game seems a lot more threatening than right now, huh?
Yeah, because like you could be better off to play a herald and then just flash in an aura after you play the herald, or vice versa,
Mm-hmm.
and not have to really worry about fussing with go again. It's it's a it's a shame because this Prism has like the biggest amount of go again for any hero in all of her weapon attacks, but she doesn't even need it.
Mm-hmm. Looks like we started to get a reveal.
Yeah, but it's kind of walking it back to get the tunic counter before the game progresses.
Yeah, I'm hoping he didn't. Okay.
No, just plain
Okay, I was
flash.
wondering if maybe he couldn't. Oh, okay. So I don't know that he was revealing. I think he was just starting his line and then realized he needed to take up Tunic.
Yep. So starting with flash, this red autumn's touch has go again.
That's what we want to see. Starvo go wide.
The soul shield, probably the best D react, just to
Very
have.
does get the little bit of chip damage, and this is a non-frosty hammer,
Yep.
just for probably gonna take. Yep.
Uh, Starvo keeping the arsenal going. Crown of Seeds is amazing value. I'm not sure if he wanted to use Crown at the end of Prism's turn there. I mean, maybe he elected not to and didn't need to anyway, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems like unless you're trying to get damage prevention, it seems like Guardian players typically activate Crown when they've got the full resource. The full counter on Unix.
Oh, we
That
got
way they
Starvo
can.
activation. The Pulse of
Oh,
Volthaven and
that's
then the Autumn's
exciting.
Touch. Yeah, so it looks like this was happening on Prism's turn. Because there would have been no way for Ben to have, activated Crown on his turn and
Hmm.
also Starvo.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
this this Heaven's Claws should be on the bottom from being pitched last turn, but it looks like we're just kind of ignoring that. It doesn't matter a whole bunch.
This is going to be a
A
strong
lot of
attack. I'm
damage.
excited to see what +4 on a dominate. Hopefully, it's one of the big scary ones for Ben's sake. Not
Glacial
bad.
Footsteps.
So what? 14 dominate.
Yeah, because we got plus
Doesn't even need to
6.
fuse it.
Didn't need to. Ugh. So
Nice.
14 dominates. I think that's all of the resources though, because that Heaven's Claws was at the bottom, and you only had 6 to pitch here.
Mm-hmm.
So just 14 dominate, but that's an insane amount of damage. Especially
Yep.
like he used a Soul Shield last turn. He's probably not going to be able to do much more than make a Spectral and block for 3.
Pitch in to maybe get his boots in. Well, he can't put his boots there.
Unmovable.
Oh, okay, here we go. Yeah.
Okay. So 11 out of the 14.
That's strong.
So
That's a
still
strong
taking 3.
defense.
Yeah. It seems to be like everybody is up to just playing the red unmovables.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you really have to. So yeah, he swings in with the haze bending, and
I forgot that was even there. Yeah. Played it 2 turns ago, I guess. Or like just the last turn he was on.
I think just last turn he dropped that. So whenever an aura pops, he'll get a spectral shield token.
We
We get a
have
second.
Starvo.
Yep. This is good. This is really good.
Yeah, a lot of Starvo activations is where you want to be against like early before Prism can build up an insane amount of spectrals to prevent any damage or
Hmm.
get the board presence. So we got
And he
9
hasn't
dominate go again.
played one Spinal Crush, but these other two attacks aren't the big bad boys, right? They're not the Crippling and the Oakenold. So still still hopefully we'll be able to get those in on a Starvo turn, Starvo activated turn, and later in the game when they'll really matter. Right now, I think it's nice that he's just pushing lots of damage, hopefully. But those effects could be real helpful later.
All right, it's a blocking 3 of 9, taking 6. And then classic Frost Hammer. But it's going to
Yep.
break the haze bending.
Targeting. Yep. It's got a spectral. You can't ever count Prism out though because things can escalate very quickly.
For sure.
And
So it looks like, the Prism player here has made just one Spectral Shield and's got a pile for quick access.
yeah. And having 4 cards here, we could see some board state development.
Board state development. Because you can play 2 auras pretty handily. Because, 3 cards. Oh,
Ooh,
Herald of
okay.
Erudition.
With the Herald. So maybe a Herald and a blue drop. This is dominated with an on hit a draw 2.
Yeah, the full effect here, if it's been, if it hits, goes to the soul, like all heralds do. Draw 2.
And
Let's see.
he did crown, so he still has 1 damage prevention to eat up that spectral ping, which I'm sure they discussed, like instead of him just swinging that. Well, yeah, the Herald would have had go again, so
How did he block? Because he blocked with an evergreen, and
he
then
popped it.
Oh, popped it. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, he popped
You
it.
know, I forget that that is a relevant thing. It
Yep.
seems like so rare that I pop the heralds.
I know. We play lots of Rune Blade, and we've got about three to six cards that we can feasibly pop things with. It seems like.
So blocking the 7. This is the third Red Autumn's touch. Good time to have them early in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, there's probably, when I play against Darvos, that I take the most damage just from these Autumn's touches. Because it's
Mm-hmm.
like, it doesn't feel as threatening to, be presented with just flat damage and no on hit effect. So you feel the need to save your defense reactions for the crushes and the Oakenolds and all of
Right.
that stuff. But
Yeah,
by
and I
the
think
time,
it's nice that Jacob was able to protect that spectral there with a perfect 7 block,
oh
and
yeah,
then he drops this passing mirage to hopefully make his heralds a little more threatening. But
Ben's just gonna blow
that's
him up.
not going to live for very long.
Yeah. Let's see, we got waiting for Steph. We got Wartune Herald with go again. Yellow pitch in the pitch zone. Pretty classic to see. It's Wartune Herald has been so good for Prisms with the Phantasmal Footsteps because you want to pitch a yellow anyway,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it's just like kind of a freebie to. It's like every turn you get a sort of activation on a Dreamweaver's, the gloves that removes Phantasm. See, yeah, he just gets his action point back, so
Mm-hmm.
it gives more defense, but like it's hard to argue with like how good it is to just be able to have the upside of an extra resource if they don't pop it and the damage that you deal.
Yep. Yeah. Been doing a great job preserving his life here. We see a Pierce Reality hit the board +2 on the first Illusionist attack action card each turn.
And it's getting blown up immediately.
It's gone before I can even finish reading it.
Yeah. These auras that just push more damage are really threatening.
It's nice that Ben has been able to keep the board clear without needing to play, activate his time skippers or play a blink or anything to generate extra action points.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
we see
far.
a
Oh,
pitch.
so we got Mirage Metamorph.
What were you
So,
gonna say, TK?
oh, I was just saying, yeah, because it's like so far he's been able to use like the all of his go again to good effect. Just value, damage plus,
Mhm.
and not have to worry about generating 2 action points to blow up 2 auras.
Yeah.
Because it's so much harder to blow up 2 auras when, like, the effects that you have. Because, nowadays Starvo is running all of the lead the charges. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
we got it. Maybe. So this is
Gonna
for
pop here.
5. That's not going to blow
This
it
is
up.
always scary, though. Oh, okay, not as scary then. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
no, he was just going to take 4 damage on that, which is probably the best move, right? Because, like, the fear being that, oh, this is an aura that can be flashed in and then
Mm-hmm.
copied. We have
Oh, there we go.
Starvo.
Also, I think he took 3 damage because he did have the 1 crown prevention.
Yeah,
Um,
okay. And not
yeah.
4.
So this is looking good here. He's got a blink back there.
So Yellow's Autumn
I,
Touch coming in for 8. Dominate. Go again.
yep, and then can still swing that icy hammer afterwards. Hmm.
Yeah,
This is okay. So we've seen 2 immovables played, and he pitched an immovable last turn. So
it's all 3 reds.
you
I
guys
think
keeping track of that?
I've seen some Prisms play even into the yellows just to, like,
Oh, okay.
keep
Hmm.
up some life total. That might be a little too speculative, especially if, like, we're talking about running all of the reds for Sink Below, and you have the what is it, the Soul Shield too? Because, like, you don't
Yeah,
want
such a good
like a
move.
third of your deck to be something just defense reactions. pitching
Mhm.
3. Yep. See, a third of your deck's just defense
Let's get
reactions.
it. Burning through those bad boys.
But I mean, notably, it's a defense react that's been used on just pure damage and no on hit effects.
Mm-hmm.
Because every time that he's played it so far, except for the one crippling crush in the beginning, right? It's just always been to prevent the damage from,
Yep.
14 dominate
Right,
or
and it was a spinal crush, right, at the
yeah, it's a
beginning.
spinal crush.
Yep, and we haven't seen again, like we chatted about. Okay, so we see a pitch of a red spinal.
I wonder what we're gonna
Huh.
see next
I
turn.
don't want it to be red, but know.
I think we might see Starvo activation. No Starvo. Just spinal.
Okay, pitches the spinal right before, plays the second one, so we know where all those are.
And I wonder what the card in Arsenal here is. I mean, you don't want to risk it like pitching this blue and then you still have the second spinal in your hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure the Oakenolds and Cripplings are probably getting crowned away for later, hopefully surrounded by the element cards to activate Starvo. I know Ben is um, really good Guardian player, good at Starvo and Oldham, and I'm sure he's setting himself up for later.
Because this is the blink, I'm pretty sure.
I
Has he
think
activated Crown since?
I think he did, didn't he?
Yep, yellow unmovable.
Good call on that.
So it's going to just take 2, prevent the crush effects. It's pretty resource efficient to trade just 3 resources for 7 health.
Mm-hmm. Can still come back with 3 cards in hand. So he generates a resource with Tunic. Gets a yellow into his pitch zone.
Yep, gonna make 3 spectrals, and all of his illusionist attacks have go again.
This seems like one of the best cards to play against Guardian.
Yeah. Just
You
having
can protect these, which seems like Jacob's been doing a good job of preventing damage in order to, if he would have had these on the board, I feel like they would still be on the board because of how well he's been doing defending. So get some damage across.
yeah, and just these 3 spectral shields are going to cause such a headache because it makes all the on hits more difficult to deal with.
Okay, so yeah, this is a way to deal with that, right? To
Oh,
make each of
100%.
those cost 1.
And then
Follows
just
up.
throwing out some 7 damage.
Make him have to protect those shields. I feel like that's a very good time to play those cards.
Yeah, because now these are not pure value, right? They're sort of a liability. Because you can easily pitch 1 card to play just this Fortune Herald and still have some of a turn. But this is the long-term game plan. And it's not like Ben's going to be able to keep Channel Lake Frigid probably for more than next turn.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hopefully he throws a counter on his Skullcap, because he did block with it.
so far no counter, but I'm sure it'll be
Yeah.
picked up.
Ben's pretty good at noticing details like that, so I'm sure the next time he goes to block with it, it'll be remembered that he blocked once with it before, hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, it's something that happens.
Especially on TTS. Said this yesterday, but it's a lot easier to miss little details and things on TTS in my experience than it is in person.
Yep, paying 1 for an attack and then just playing shimmers.
Okay, let's see what Ben decides to do with this channel if he tries to keep it out another turn.
I mean, this might be a good turn to time skippers because that would give you a way to pitch 2 ice cards and throw in an attack and blow up the Yeah, blow up the
Shimmers?
shimmers.
Heck yeah. No, that's a great point.
Because, like, in all of these channels, having some way to dump resources to sort of keep the channel counters rolling,
Mm-hmm.
it's it can be better than you might think. Or you
Okay,
just play
well
the
that's
second
another way.
channel lake, and
That's another way to keep it around, I guess.
yeah. So the line was available to do just what we were talking about, blow up the time skippers and then come in for. Oh, wait, no. Maybe he just didn't have any, like, attacks to play because we got two winner's
Yeah.
bites.
Yeah, that might have just been a pretty awkward hand there with three ice cards.
Yeah.
But is able to clear the shimmers, is able to continue the frosty tax on Jacob.
As many turns as you can have. Just helps slow down efforts to pick it up. But this is like almost free 7 damage a lot of the times, it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
Because you definitely don't
This
want to blow it
is
up.
right. This is, I think, the third we've seen of this.
Although this might be the turn if you were going to blow it up. Because the good thing is that for the Prism to be able to play an aura in instant, at least one of these has to be blue. He can't
That's a
pay
good point.
4 resources. So it has to have exactly, like, you know, 5 or
So
more
we see that.
resources and a yellow in arsenal. Like this
Yeah,
instant.
that's a really good point. We do see of the pitching of a strong attack for later, like we talked about.
It's also just resource efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're just going to take some damage. So not risking the possibility of getting a copy.
Looks
And
like
even
they're
then.
holding priority. No, he took the damage here.
Yeah, yeah. And it's just this had go again because we had to pitch a yellow. So there's a blue and there's a yellow. So he did have the 5 resources. So I wonder
Yeah,
if there's just some yellow aura in arsenal. And here we
pops
get the
that.
pop.
When your 2 block turns into a 7 block, that always feels, sorry, a 6 block, that always feels nice.
Yeah. Pays the 1 resource to retain the action point, realizes, or maybe it's just passing the turn. It's the same thing because he can't really come in with either the spectral shields with channel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, looks like this is the last hurrah for our Channel Lake Frigid.
Yep.
Just attacking with the hammer. It's a pretty sad turn.
Pitches pulse. And that pulse is going to be pretty close to that Oakenold.
Yeah, because like we've seen him
This game
pitch
takes it
consecutively,
back so
basically,
far.
the Oakenold and the and that pulse. So playing the long game.
Pays for the boots. Blocks out 4. And we see Channel leave the field.
And like he would have had to pay 2 there. Or is this cards and activated abilities? And this is a triggered ability, I guess. You may pay 1. Or sorry,
Okay.
whenever you defend with it, you may pay this, and if you do. So that's probably just considered a triggered ability and maybe not subject to the tax of Channel Lake Frigid.
So this is not what we want to see here.
No, it
He
is not.
pitches to activate Crown and blocks with this shield. That'll eat up 2, but that's still 3 annoying damage to deal with.
Looks like that's what we're going to see. Then using 1 resource. So representing the 1 resource used for the crown. Ben has 2 resources left. Takes 1, 2, 3, 4.
Any reason to not block with shield there?
Expose is
Oh,
the reason.
okay. Seems like a good reason.
He has
Gets the
no
double activation.
resources. He can
Oh, is he
blow up.
popping? Gonna
Yeah,
blow up.
he's got free reign to destroy one of his equipment. Except
Looking at
for
that
the
tunic.
skull cap.
Well,
Yeah, blows
technically
up the
he should be
phantasmals.
the skull cap because that should have a -1. Yeah. See, now they rectify that game state. That's fine.
Well,
Blows
actually,
up
I
to the.
think that the phantasmal footsteps has 0 defense. Doesn't it?
Oh, he put a -1 on the skull cap, but the skull cap should have already had a
Yeah, it
-1.
should have
So he put a
2 negative
yeah. So
counters.
that was a missed. That's why you just throw your counters on as soon as you leave the chain. I do it usually when my equipment's still in the chain, to be totally honest, because I know I'll forget. But that's fine.
So yeah, looks like we were going into expose the elements. That was, uh, I've been blown out
Yeah,
by
so
that card. So yeah, here's an
shouldn't
extra
get
1 health
blocked.
for missing what happened earlier in the game. Unless maybe we missed, they didn't. They decided to not
Yeah,
block all the way
maybe
there.
I definitely saw him present the Arcanite skull cap onto that block, and then he didn't take any damage. So, you know, it's no big deal though. I feel like every game that we've watched, both sides have made some errors. It just happens.
It's a hard game. Trading the hand for 4 spectral shields. I imagine we're going to see a pitch yellow to make a spectral shield. We got 3 cards in the soul. No, passing mirage.
Okay. Pretty relevant effect in this matchup.
Especially with time skippers being blown up now. Or not time skippers, the phantasmal footsteps.
Yeah.
So, but, you know, Ben may very well blow up his time skippers to come in with an attack and then swing hammer. Because, like, there's a good chance on any hand he will be able to blow up a herald or just a given phantasm attack. So, yeah, I'm pitching 3, just blowing up the hammer. So that was a crippling crush and pulse.
37 cards in Ben's deck and 27 in Prism, so relevant info here. Yeah, these spectral shields are looking pretty scary. I think we need to get a big dominated attack to clean those up.
Parable of Humility.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Interesting that it chooses Parable of Humility instead of. Let's see, the other choice was. It was the aura that does arcane damage, right? When one of your cards is destroyed.
Ode to Wrath, I think. There's
Ode to Wrath. No, Ode to Wrath is the one that you get dealt extra damage.
Is it Merciful?
I think it was Merciful Retribution.
I get those mixed up.
Yeah.
Beats the one damage with Crown.
Yeah, so now we're looking at
what he wants to do here.
Yep, gonna probably take 4. Going from 26 to 22.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Ben has something big to swing back with here. Does drop his shimmers. We have 4 spectral shields and 2 auras. Starting to feel like Time Skippers is gonna get played soon.
Or maybe we just have Starvo activation. Crazy Town.
Yeah.
Nope, it does not look like we have Starvo activation.
Yeah. Usually that gets showed pretty quickly.
reorganizing the cards in your hand before you can even get the chance.
Oh, just coming in with a Autumn's.
Yellow Autumn's Touch.
Maybe
6
see a blink
straight
here.
damage. Oh,
See the blink.
now he Autumn's Touched into the Parable, then is now using Blink to get this action point back, and then pitching
Seems
to
good.
blow up the Shimmers. Yeah,
Still
that's
preserve time skippers.
yeah, because like you can only use Time Skippers once, but like these cards, Blink or Lead the Charge, right? If you have a good opportunity to get them and use them, I think that's probably just what you want to do.
Yep, you don't have to sit around and wait for time skippers to present themselves like you do blinks, right? So it's when you've got the opportunity, it's better to use the blinks. And only has one hand. Oh, I'm sorry. I was like, why does he only have one in hand? But that was just it's a graphical issue.
Oh goodness.
Which is drops a prismatic shield, getting all the shields.
Yeah, we're going from 4 to 7.
Maybe see a yellow pitch to get a spectral out on the board from prism activation or ending there.
Yeah, he didn't have an action point. He had to use it to haze bending, so it looks like he didn't have a yellow.
Yeah, that makes sense. And we do get the fuse here, so that's nice.
There's the third channel link. We should be coming around the cycle, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he's at 34 cards in his deck. Seems about right.
Because I don't think Ben has held on to more than 1 or 2 cards ever. So we're seeing 4 to 5 cards every cycle.
Oh.
This is
from
hand.
From hand.
So we got 8 on top of 9. Blows up 1 spectral.
Another blink.
Electing to
go face here. Clear those up.
Well, haze bending in it on its own is not really that much of a threat.
Mm-hmm.
Because
and his opponent has no cards in hand now. So unless that's a blue aura, he can drop that costs 0. Should be an uneventful turn. Well, of course, the swing for 1. Don't need any resources for that.
Yeah, but if you're gonna activate Crown anyway, it's the free damage prevention.
Yep.
So it doesn't cost him anything.
That get the reveal here.
Yeah, Starvo.
Very timely.
So it's an all blue hand. Yeah, this is 7 dominate.
Probably could still play a soul shield, maybe another yellow. He should be getting to his red. Yeah, so that's his third yellow unmovable. He pitched a red unmovable earlier. So I feel like there's still 2 good D-reacts because I think he pitched a red unmovable and... Sorry, I said that earlier. I think he has a soul shield also, potentially.
I can't recall if he's played 2 or 3.
Of which? The soul shield?
Of the soul shield, yeah. I know he's played...
Yeah.
Because like we can see 2 of them.
Definitely 2. And maybe 3, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Cleans up there. Did he just put the shield back? That should have popped.
Because we have 6 spectral shields. Did he not block all the damage? No, because no, he blew up haze bending and that made 1.
Oh, perfect. So that makes perfect sense.
Oh yeah, that's all 3 soul shields. Because he just banished the other one that was on top. So we have seen all soul shields, seen all the yellows for unmovable, and we've seen 2 red unmovable. Ben hasn't used that many Guardian attacks.
And how many prismatic? Is it prismatic shield? What's the card that generates three spectral shields?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a prismatic shield. But I've seen 2 reds. I don't know
Okay.
if he's keen on playing other flavors of that. Probably not. I don't think the rate on the card is that good unless you're making 3 spectral shields.
Mm-hmm. But I feel like Jacob's doing a really good job of playing to his win condition, which is most likely just get all these little, you know, death by 1,000 cut cards out on the field.
We
And
have
just
Starvo
swinging
activation.
those.
And
This
I
is
think,
where
yeah, we're going to
Ben's
see the break
opportunity.
ground.
Yeah.
So we got 7
Okay.
dominate go again. And probably, like, very few, if any, defense reactions.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Definitely
like,
no more yellow and movable. So probably gonna see a red here. Would not surprise me. Because he's at 20 cards left in deck. Feel like it's
because,
probably
yeah,
come
he's
around
threatening
to
to
that
blow
red.
up to 5 of these without any intervention, right?
Yep, and if he can defend those, I think he has to, right?
Or rather 4, because I imagine he's blocking with a 3 from hand. Because, like, we're looking at 7 dominate, blocks with a 3 from hand, 4 spills over into the spectrals. Nope, there's a sink below.
Forgot about Sink Below.
So,
Right.
yep, we're looking at
3.
3 fewer spectral shields. Until we have a merciful, so 3 arcane
So he's gonna
damage.
take 3 arcane.
But that was before Ben played his, or swung his hammer.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just going to swing his hammer into the merciful.
Take 1 more.
So
Seems reasonable. Still have a card to crown away later.
I'm curious, is that, so Ben just took 5 damage? Was it 4 damage?
I think it was 4 total is what he should have taken, right? Because it was 1 for each of the spectral shields of the 3 that were popped.
Because he blocked with the unmovable, or not the unmovable, but the sink below for 4.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Blizzard's this to try and stop the go again. You
Yeah.
can't. Pay for
Solid
it.
gain, a ton of life there.
It's 1 resource. So that was a good play there.
And we just have 1 card left in the soul. Blue disable.
It's a blue, but still swings for 7.
Yeah. I think this is about, and this is a pure estimate, I think this is about half of the Guardian attacks so far. There's the last red unmovable.
Definitely hit second cycle in Prism's deck.
Which means we've definitely seen second cycle. We're coming through.
I have
the
not been
second
keeping
round
track of Sink Belows, but we've seen at least 1, maybe 2, maybe 3. I don't know. I was not paying as close attention to those. It's a Herald out from Arsenal. Which one is this? This is Ravages. This does have an on-hit of dealing an extra damage, and it would also go to his soul.
Blowing it up. There's just a Herald hanging out on here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Clean it up. Tunic. Pitch 6.
Okay.
Another Spinal
That's
Crush.
the spinal he crushed. Sorry, that's the Spinal Crush he pitched very early on. Can't imagine there's any D reacts left in this deck, but maybe. All right.
Yeah, we're just gonna see a lot of blocking. So 6 blocked, 3 blown up. That's a pretty great trade
Mm-hmm.
because only 1 card left in Prism Soul here. Few like spectral shield generators, kind of just stuck with the non-token auras that have been getting cycled here.
Mm-hmm. And Ben's okay. Like, he's got his double damage production reduction from crown and shield every turn. He still has 2 blocks on his
Yeah, he's yet to block with his Crater
gloves, 1
Fist.
block on his tunic. I feel like Ben's probably, hopefully, feeling comfortable here. He's also got 26 cards in deck compared to 16 for Prism.
Goodness. And I think most of these are cards that just don't block anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe block for 2. Tunic Resource live.
In the tank here a little bit.
He might be contemplating. This might be the time skipper's turn. I mean, I'll say it every turn, and eventually it'll be right.
Yep. That's right. That's how that works.
Just hammer. Blowing up the passing mirage.
We're going to see a blink here, I wonder.
Or, no, I guess probably not blowing up the passing mirage, because... Or we're seeing... No, okay, here we are.
Okay. Another Merciful. Just going to take the 1 damage there.
No blink.
I do think he has 1 more in his deck somewhere, but...
Seeing 5 pitched.
Okay. Gets the Parable out. This is a little scary here. But I would not be surprised, as we've said every turn, to see time skippers get played. But that's the patience of a good player, waiting until, you absolutely need to.
Yeah, now having 2 non-token auras that are relatively threatening.
Right. There's moments where it's nice to do something, and there's moments where you need to do something, and sometimes you need to be patient and wait for those need to moments.
Let's see, how much does Ben's hand mean to him? His opponent is just coming in for an additional 4 damage. He could go down to 7 and then present a 5-card turn.
So he used the Tunic Resource to crown, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the most damage he can prevent here really with 1 card is 1. So the Tunic Resource is using that as efficient, and you got a 5-card turn, maximize your chance of activating the Starvo. The trade-off being is that you don't have the extra resource to pitch towards the shield.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I mean, you get that third of a resource.
I'm excited to. I was gonna say I'm excited to see him take the damage because I feel like he's going to swing back hard, and we did see that blink, and we do have time skippers. So cleaning up auras is still very much something he can accomplish efficiently. Okay, I was wondering where the other one of those was going to be. So this is scary. He's going to take 2 damage here.
And that's going to go to Soul.
And now he has to clear out the second one, take 1 more damage. But then after that, no more tricks of, you pop my aura, I hurt you.
Yeah, it should be. So we got Oakenold, See, this is cool because if he didn't have this second Merciful, he was probably coming in with the Oakenold fused because he has the Pulse in hand, and that's the card we just see Arsenal here. So that was really good. Like the number of options to have, super important. So now, I think Jacob's probably going to pass on using the. No, okay, he's multiple cards in his soul.
Yeah, he does need to clean up his zone here. There we go.
But this is rough, man, because we're looking at 6 damage. Ben's only got.
Oh, I see. He did that at the end of his turn. At the end of Ben's turn.
Yeah.
Now we get a crown, which is fine. Eats the 1 damage.
And it looks like there was no yellow to pitch. Or yellow that he wanted to pitch, rather.
And we get the Starvo activation. And okay, this is looking good. I know that health disparity is real, but
okay. Crippling Crush.
And he doesn't have to worry about dying to a Merciful anymore.
Yeah, so this is just the full 13 Dominate Crush effect live and no defense reactions except for possibly one more Sync Below available.
Possibly, yeah.
Although there is kind of a sort of defense reaction in the 3rd copy of the Prismatic Shield. Because then it's like, prevent 3 damage without having to block with it directly from your hand.
Yeah, Ben is definitely not out of the... he's not...
Yeah, because we're looking at 23 to 4. 10 cards left in the Prisms deck. If this clears the Spectral Shields, that's going to be a huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
Arc Lake coming in after the fact.
Interesting.
And looks like he's pitching his full hand here just to get rid of it. So avoiding the crush effect and having to discard the cards. Because he needs every card. Every card that he can get.
Yeah, that seems like a really strong play by Jacob.
Yes, and that's just coming in for 1, which can't be prevented by Crown because we had to use all of the cards last turn. So it's an inefficient block to spend a whole card and be
or just a Crater Fist.
Crater Fist is probably pretty good. I'm not sure how much he needs the 2 block to maybe stop something from happening.
Right. I feel like we've seen most of the on-hit effects.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're just pitching.
He does pitch there.
Well, I mean, I guess it's like this favors the controlling player.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the Time Skipper's turn? Can every turn
probably
be the Time
not,
Skipper's
probably
turn?
Not, because he'd have to spend 1 card to activate Time Skippers. He'd have to spend 1 card to swing Hammer.
Well, they play Lightning Surge, don't they?
I don't know. Maybe they do. We did not see.
We did not see the Time Skippers.
Post game, we're gonna talk to Ben. He's gonna be like, "Oh, I forgot I was running those."
Oh, he knows.
Oh, I know.
Yep. Is there... What could happen here? Well, it probably wouldn't happen because this has go again. But there is the possibility of just blocking with the Crater Fist, taking the 3 damage going to 1 and then having a 5-card turn. But you wouldn't do that in this scenario.
Seems risky. Fortunately, like we've talked about, those mercifuls being gone, I don't know of any other uh, little tricky situations where you can just unexpectedly take damage off Prism. But yeah, okay, yeah, shuts
Blocking
it down
5.
there.
1 damage prevention remaining from the crown activation, and then
Yep, and
preventing
he
the 1.
throws it there. Still looking at 3 cards though.
It's not nothing. Especially when it's loaded up on heralds. Smells blood in the
Mm-hmm.
water. Not being able
Mm-hmm.
to get the herald of triumph.
This one coming in for 6.
Yeah, and it's really big swinging for just like it makes a spectral shield on its own. It goes into the soul to make another spectral shield on the activation. It will basically give
Mm-hmm.
all of your auras go again for a turn. It just does everything you want it to do. And I wonder if we might see just like it's very real just to see a third aura or a third herald out of this because we have the tunic resource still available. There's 1 resource here, and there's not really anything available.
That's very true. And yeah,
Like there, I mean,
this.
there's not anything that like there's no heralds that cost more than 2 in the deck.
Mm-hmm.
So gonna have to do some. Oh wow, we're seeing a block for 6 using the tunic.
Yep. Yep. That seems reasonable to me for sure.
Now it would be really punishing as an erudition, but thankfully
Okay. Get
it's
some.
haze bending. That, but like I think he started by pitching one of his eruditions. It probably just couldn't line up with everything else that
Mm-hmm.
was going on, because, ooh, that would have been devastating.
So Jacob at 7 cards in deck, and not counting hand, and Ben at 23
Blows up haze bending.
just clears out haze bending.
Yeah, 11 and 24, 15 and 4. I'm nervous.
Yeah, all the games this week have felt like nail biters.
We're pitching 5 to play a second Parable of Humility.
That's scary.
This is. I feel like it's very likely to just see pitch to crown and then block with the shield, take 1.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you still have a 3-card turn, and these Parables of Humility are a big problem to like defend against the all of the heralds that we've seen left. Oh, gonna block with lead the charge,
Yep.
so
Lock there.
preventing all of the damage.
Now we've got 3 auras and a shimmers right now. Feel like that's the target, right? Because that can make.
Yeah, the really well, maybe not so much now because it's just like you can't afford to overblock. He's got 9 cards, but I think a really dangerous move for anybody playing against Prism is when they just start putting counters on a Spectral Shield
Yeah,
because they can build up
and
their
then they
weapon and
start
protect it.
defending it.
Ah,
We finally see
time
the one turn
skippers.
we don't call it. One turn we don't talk about it. Yep.
And yeah,
and you
so
called
there's
that.
Lightning Surge.
That is still so scary though, because now Prism's got 4 cards in hand. Ben does not have the ability to crown.
I think we see a Herald, or maybe just make a Spectral. Nope, we got a Blue War Tune Herald. We have to have something with 7 or greater power to block here with the Parable on board.
Yep.
And this is 4.
4, 5.
So we're blocking for a total of 5.
is a blue. Plays another Herald. But his opponent is at 5 cards in deck. If Ben can just survive.
But dude, look, we were looking at 3 more damage on board.
Oh, that's true. That's very true.
So Ben's gonna have to go down to 1.
Yep. Or 2
If he
here. Yeah.
takes any damage from the Herald or Protection, then he makes another Spectral Shield. And that's just it.
Yep.
Is he electing not to make the Spectral? There it is. Making the Spectral, attacking.
Yep.
Puts to 1.
Very scary. Very scary.
We are at the last 5 cards. 7 cards.
Oh, yeah, after clearing pitch. Yep.
And then Ben just has to straight up pass with no card in arsenal. So he's going to have to block with 3 cards from his hand. So this has to be a Herald. Because he doesn't have any cards in Soul to give go again.
Yep, the turns where he had those like 6 Spectral Shields are where he really was able to close this game, I think.
But yeah, we might just be looking at the only ability to attack with a Herald, or maybe play another non-token aura, or just it doesn't look like this blue hand is having a very good time figuring out what the turn is.
Mm-hmm.
But now here we have a pitch for 5 into with the so we have assembled Voltron.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we've paid 6 resources. And now we have an Arclight on the board. Ben has to block every single one of these. It's not looking good. All he has to do is be able to make 1 more aura, and that is the game. So token, it is non-token. Really just any yellow aura with a pitch for yellow, and that's it. Or, play, playing a yellow Herald, or playing a Herald with a yellow, and then missing Ben's pop. But no, here we have 7 for the Arclight Sentinel kill. Yeah. Unless he has Blizzard, that would be the card.
Well, couldn't he just spend the 2 floating on Blizzard?
He can. No, you're right.
I think they're
discussing. Pulse of Isenloft. Yeah, it looks like we're talking about end of game stuff.
Yeah,
I do believe that Jacob has won. Congratulations.
That was a great game. Congratulations.
That was game 5, the deciders for Sealed Team Lotus.
Because he had to be the decider both weeks now. Last week he was able to get it there for us, and this week he played great. That was.
It's a hard one, man. It's a hard one to try to beat.
Especially when you play a Prism player like this that knows the proper way to handle a Starvo matchup.
Yeah. Well played by both of the players. That was awesome.